Hi, it's Beverly Cole, and today I'm going to show you how I use OpenOffice to lay out the elements for a digital card that I'm making. We're going to be using my Magnolia set and my Magnolia paper pack. So the first thing I do is I bring up OpenOffice and I go to Drawing. You get a lot of choices, and I use Drawing, and it comes up looking like this. Now, I want to have as much room on my paper as I can, so I'm going to format my page. I'm going to make my margins smaller. They're set at 0.39 inches, and I'm just going to lower them to about 21. Okay, and now you can see there's a smaller border around the edge. Also notice that I use a grid, and these little grids are 1/2 inch each. You can find the grid by going up here to View, and you will see I want to view my ruler, so that's clicked, and then I have Grid, Display Grid, and Snap to Grid. Okay, so those are set. And that means snap to grid means when I put pictures here, they're going to snap right into those little squares instead of me having to finagle with them and make them fit perfectly. So this helps me not only to know how big my images are, but also that if I'm rotating an image, it'll snap to the lines and be nice and straight. So the first thing I'm going to do is go up here to Insert Picture from File, and that means it's going to pick something out of my files. And here I have Morning Glories, and I'm going to go to my papers, and here are the papers in my Morning Glory set. The first one I want to use is Cream, so I'm going to click on my Cream, and you will see it appear the size that it is saved as a PNG. Now to get this the size that I want it, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, I want the flowers to stay large, so I'm not going to shrink it, I'm going to crop it. So I hit crop, and then I'm going to crop it until it's the size I want. So I can use my little lines and my ruler up at the top and on the side to hit 4 1/4. And also at the bottom of the screen there are numbers to help you. And it's really a little bit difficult to get it perfect. So I'm going to go with it a little bit larger because I can trim it. And then at the bottom here, we're going to make that 5 1/2. Whoops, too small. I'm watching the numbers at the bottom of the screen. There. It's right here. See the numbers here at the bottom? This tells me how big it is, and that's close enough. I still see a shadow until I click off. Then here is my paper. So I'm going to move it up here into the corner. Now that's my background, and now I want to use a piece of another piece to play with to make my card. I'd like to combine two papers, so I'm going to go back to Picture from File and pick out, I think, the blue calico. I think that's really pretty, and it's a small print, so I think a large print and a small print with the same colors will look super great. Now, I can crop this also. So let's do that again. We're going to grab the corner up here, and we're just going to diagonally move. Wait, I just want to show you also, when you do this cropping, let me go back and edit that and do resizing. Okay, I'm going to hold down my Shift key. When I hold, my Shift key. When I hold down my Shift key, it keeps the flowers in the same dimensions. It doesn't change it, make them look stretched, if you know what I mean. So now that I'm holding that down, it will stay the shape, and I just want to make it a piece that is the same width as this one. So I'm just going to kind of play with it and see, okay, it's a little bit too skinny. Then I'll hold my Shift key down and make it bigger until I'm sure. You know, and it's a little bigger, but that's okay. I just like to give myself a little wiggle room sometimes, but I don't, you know, I'm not sure I need this much of it. I don't know yet, so I'm just going to leave it. Okay, so we have this piece, which I'll move down here, and I can also use my arrows on my keyboard to get them close together. Okay, and then I'm going to make my image for my card. So I need a focal point. So we'll go to Insert Picture from File again and choose my Morning Glories. Okay, so I want to use my Morning Glory oval that's already colored. So I can go click and open, or I can just double click and the image will appear. Perfect. Now I don't need it this big because it's not going to fit. But remember, to keep that nice oval shape, I will hold down my Shift key. To show you what happens if you don't use your Shift key, look. Which is okay, except the flowers kind of look scratched. So I'm going to go Edit, Undo, and now I will hold my Shift key on my keyboard down while I make this the size that I want. And I can play with it because it's a PNG and has a clear background or no background. I can play with it until it looks about the size that I want for my card. And I think I just want it a little bit smaller. Okay, now I'm going to move it. Now I could leave it here, just so you know. And this would print out together to save you from cutting. You could just leave it on there. But I'm going to want to add some dimension to my card. So I'm going to move it over here and cut it out separately. And click off of it. Okay, now I need a sentiment, but just to show you also, if you stay here, okay, and it's chosen like this, it's selected, when I go over here to insert a picture from file, and I choose, I'm going to choose You Made My Day, and I choose this, right? Watch what happens. It replaces my image, and I don't want to do that. So let me just edit and undo that. And now we will not choose that, and we will insert the picture from the file. And we will insert my sentiment. And there it is. Hold down my Shift key and make it the size that I want. Now, when you have an image like this, you need to actually be on the printed area in order to grab it. And I want to see how it looks here. I think it's a little big. I need to make it a tiny bit smaller. So I'm going to hold my Shift key and just grab the corner. And let's see. That's a good. See, and I lost it. I got to click on the color. And I think that will be good. Yeah. So I'm just going to sneak it somewhere where I have some space. I want to be able to have extra on the ends in case I might want to make it into a band. So I'm going to move this over. Don't know if that makes a difference. Let me see. I want to fit it. Fit it, fit it, fit it. Yeah, it will. I'm just going to move it. I didn't really have to move that actually. Let's put it back just so you see. Okay, we'll just move that back. Edit, undo. Oops, edit, undo. Also, I want to have some length on each side of this. Okay, so that will work right there. That will work. I have enough space around it to make it into a band if I want to. And if you wanted to make it bigger, you would want to leave more space. In which case, you could take it over here, click on it again till the red dots show, and you'll get this little arrow here, and you can actually turn it like that and make sure it's straight. And then you can put it where you have space around it. But I'm going to put it back where I had it. So edit, undo, edit, undo, edit, undo, and I'll get it right back there. And I think I'm going to actually just shift and make crop this, make it a little smaller. I don't really need it that big. but I do want it that wide. Okay, there. Now I can move this and give it a little more space. Lovely. Okay, so when I print things, I don't like to have extra paper. You can print this out just the way it is and be happy with it. But I don't like to waste. When I cut all this out, I'm going to have a piece of white cardstock there that's just wasted. So I prefer to add something else to print out. And I think what I'll do is go ahead and print out my trio of flowers. There they are. And I'm going to hold my shift key down and make them smaller and move them over to here. And now I have them as well. But I think I want them a little bigger. So I'm just going to turn them sideways with those red dots. Click off and now hold my shift key down and make them larger. A little larger. And then just move them. Success! Okay, so then I'm going to print this out and we will use this to make a card.